we are excited and delighted to be joined by Justin Hamilton, assistant coach, cornerback specifically with the New England Patriots. And obviously, you guys got a couple of big weeks ahead of you as we lead up to the Super Bowl. And we're excited to have that on NBC here on WSLS. And Coach Hamilton, first off, thank you for your time. I know this is a busy time for you guys getting prepared. My first question, just your thoughts on being a part of the Super Bowl, being a coach with this whole experience. What's this been like for you the past couple of days, just taking that aspect in itself?
Yeah, it's been it's cool. I mean, when you think about it, talking to my wife, my kids, and them get to experience it, it's really cool. But it's one of those things, like I guess everything we do that is an accomplishment in whatever field we're in, it's like you want to appreciate it while you're in it. But when you got to go do more things and it's like we're in it, that's great. And then immediately, like 12 hours later, you're thinking, okay, how do we go win it? And that's kind of where we are right now. But I've been trying to find small moments to just stop and take it in, to appreciate how many people it took to get here, and the different stories and different journeys, and realizing that this could be a once or for some people a never in a lifetime experience. So just trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, from Clintwood, Virginia, to to the biggest stage of the NFL. Obviously, these are moments, as youngsters, I'm sure you grow up thinking about, perhaps not as a coach, you're thinking as a player, right? But to have this moment, and I don't know if you had that chance to reflect back, like, man, from Clintwood, and I was looking at highlights of you the other night from the station down that way. What goes through your mind when you think of those, just humble beginnings, super, super small town there?
Yeah, well, the first part is only in America. Like that plays over in my head, but I mean, it really is crazy. Like I think about being a kid and trying to at home kind of putting together like my own little Super Bowl party with chips and dip, and it was just my family. But like we got to do this. It's the Super Bowl. I remember watching my grandmother. She's passed now, but was a humongous John Elway fan, and every big game that John Elway played in the playoffs, we were watching it. I was sitting right with her watching it. And then I stood on the field last week out in Denver, and it was just like in warm ups, I'm standing on the field and I'm thinking, like, man, I'm here where me and my grandmother used to sit and watch these games. And then in warm ups, Peyton Manning standing like right by where, and I'm just thinking, this is crazy to be here from Clintwood, Virginia, like you said. But then at the same time, it's two things. One, I think I try to always be mindful that you can be an inspiration for people that are from small towns, because that's what helped me to continue to chase something, was other people inspired me to do it. But then that's it's just I fell in love with something when I was like 6, 7 years old. I fell in love with something, and I kind of made a 7-year-old decision to chase it for as long as I could, and I'm still chasing it. And it's insane to think about, really.
When you think about your journey as a player at Virginia Tech, and then obviously you had a chance to be the defensive coordinator and get your coaching ranks started here as well, in other places, VMI nearby too, a little bit everywhere. What have you taken with you along this journey on the coaching side that has helped you get to where you are today in the NFL with the New England Patriots?
What's crazy to me is that coaching at UVA-Wise, where I started, to VMI, to Virginia Tech, to Tennessee, to Indianapolis, to here, it's really all the same. It's really the same. I mean, you have guys that they buy in, they cooperate. You have guys that are on the fence, and then you have guys that don't. And it's just you got to be able to learn how to communicate with the people that you're coaching, and you to a certain degree have to get to their level. Not really, like, you don't have to be a kid or a young adult, but you can't. I always talk to players, you can't go to Spain and expect them to speak English. So you learn to speak the lingo. You learn that they're human beings. You learn that everybody has a story, everybody has a journey. There's so many other people too, with trainers, the video staff, I mean, the analytics departments, the people that clean the bill, so many people that are involved in effects. But at the end of the day, you've got to have a head coach at the top that sets the culture. You got to have a quarterback. You got to have some luck. and you got to have players. Like at all these levels, you have to have those things to even have a shot for me to be sitting here as a guy getting to be along for the ride.
You alluded to it a little bit there, but relationships are obviously a huge part of this as well. Talk about how your relationship with Coach Vrabel, where did that even begin, and how has that continued to nourish itself in terms of helping you and then helping him as well, obviously stepping into what he's been able to do at the head coaching position as well.
Yeah, it's honestly going into when I did an internship in Tennessee, I knew several coaches on that staff, but none of them were Braves. Just guys that I had met throughout. Shane Bowen, who was the defense coordinator, his wife and my wife were friends, close friends in college before either of us were married. Yeah, so I kind of knew a lot of people, but when I went in and did the internship, from the very first meeting that I sat in, I obviously knew who Mike Vrabel was, but I had never seen him lead a room. And it was like, I really like this guy's style. And the first couple, I had no idea what I was supposed to do or not supposed to do for the first couple of days. So I just holed up in the DB room and just sat and tried to find work to do. I would just look through and just think, okay, what could they possibly? And I barely talked to anybody. Well, like the third day, Terrell Williams actually, he kind of pulled me aside and he was like, I don't know what you've done or what you said, but you caught the head man's attention and he likes you. Like he really likes you. So in my head, I just thought, okay, well, for him to like me, I sat here and just worked and didn't say anything. So I just try to work. And I say stuff now, but I don't if I don't need to say something, I don't say anything. I don't try, I just try to go to work and try to help out. But he's so big on that everybody has a role and he is excellent. And I've been around some really good coaches,
Yeah.
but he is excellent at not just making everyone feel like their role and their place and their job is important, but he genuinely like can paint the picture for you of your role is important and here's why. And he does an excellent job of that. He allows people to have some leeway with what they think might be best. But and he says this all the time, the personalities can be different with players, with coaches, with all of us, but the mentality has to be the same. And I couldn't agree with him more on that.
When it comes down to the game itself, you guys have obviously affected change in that secondary this season. We've seen it from afar, but having your hand in on that, what's that experience been like this season in particular, and the challenge that you guys will have coming up just over a week from now when you enter that game?
Yeah, what's crazy to me is every week when you watch, whether it be your team is playing or just watching an NFL game, I don't care what the other team's record says. If everybody or if most of their people are healthy, every team you play has a guy that's good enough to wreck your day
Mm.
if you're not on point. They have a guy that there's jerseys all around middle schools and high schools. Like somebody's wearing that guy's jersey everywhere. And so you look at, okay, how is it that they try to get that player the ball or those players the ball? And then there's first, second down where it's a little different. It's more of your play action and your boots and, quick game maybe with tempo. But then third down becomes where it's one play defense. And it's, okay, who are they targeting? Who are they trying to get the ball to and how? So you look at coverage wise, the blend of, okay, what do our guys feel comfortable with? You always have to marry it to what your linebackers and everybody else is doing on first and second down. And then what do our guys feel comfortable with? Then third down, it's really, you look at Christian Gonzalez and just say, okay, we are fortunate to have one of the elite ones. How do we put him where they're trying to throw the ball? That's really, and Carlton Davis has done a phenomenal job
Mm-hmm.
and has been a
Absolutely.
decade in this league of making plays. But even he understands that this one there's like Pat Surtain, and that's pretty much where the list stops in terms
Yeah.
of physically, like guys that I don't care who's coaching them. There's certain things that you're not going to coach them to do. They can do it.
Yeah.
And that's really the mix. But there's so much of it that the part probably this year that I've learned more than anything else is you have all that I just said, but then you have these guys have so many people that are in their mentions or that have an opinion on what they should do or how they should play, or why'd you give this throw up when maybe it's not even them, they're just the closest defender. So you kind of have to have a little bit of an ear to the streets on that to understand what they're hearing and understand, like, okay, let me phrase this or package this in this way. But those guys that have been, there's some Wednesdays where that's the heavy game planning day for us, with the players, that they are not comfortable with why are we doing this or why are we not doing that, and being able to talk and work through that on Wednesday, on Thursday, Friday, by the time we get to Saturday, that's been really interesting for me, because it's guys that they have well-informed opinions that sometimes they're right. Sometimes we're probably, it's like, okay, let's just keep working. They'll see it our way. But there's been plenty of times it's like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Let's see if we can get that worked in to, and the marriage of it has become, we've started to peak at the right time, which is exactly what you want. And then obviously being able to do that one more time.
Yeah, yeah, the best time, right? You got to
The best
do it at
time.
the times. Yes, absolutely. Having been around the NFL now, have you had that moment where you thought in your head, like, I don't know, maybe I probably could have made it at at this level, or was it a moment like, okay, yeah, I wasn't quite cut out for it
Yeah. So you mean as a player, right?
as a player, right,
Yeah,
right.
so I honestly, when I played and my career was, I did the thing where I'd been on a team, was off a team, and then was out, had a couple of tryouts, and like I'm still training, not taking any jobs anywhere. That phase of my life,
Mhm.
before I could transition into coaching, I really came to that moment back in 2008 or nine, where I was in a dark place, like thinking I'd been done wrong, if I'd had this guy's opportunities, or if this coach would have done this, that, and I just couldn't get through it. And finally, I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, this is on you. Like this is not on anybody else. Like I didn't have the unique physical traits like a Christian Gonzalez or like Pat Surtain or like Kyle Hamilton. I didn't have those things, but I was good enough that if I would have done all of the marginal things, taking care of my body, done prehab and stretching and maintenance before I ever got hurt,
Mhm.
and had done the nutrition, like really been disciplined with my nutrition, really been disciplined with a sleep schedule, really, then I would have made it. I would have been fine. I didn't do those things. I wasn't
Mhm.
mature enough and didn't have enough self-discipline to do it. That's why I didn't make it. And I'm okay with that at this point. I'm not okay with it. I always regret it. But that, saying it like that to myself, was what allowed me to say, okay, well then what next? And that's
Mhm.
where it was like the next closest thing is coaching. And I took the first job that I got offered, and I just chased and ran, and let's see how far this can go.
Yeah, I love that journey of, hey, it's not a necessarily giving up. It's just a different route, a little bit of a pivot, and we're still here. My last question, I'll get you out on this. I can't help but see the tech photos just over your shoulder there, from your playing days, from Coach Beamer to Bud to everyone that was around the program. What have you carried with you the most from Blacksburg that you are proud to say, you know what? That still comes to mind. I really appreciate what that coach instilled in me, or the program itself.
Yeah, I would say, and I've said this several times, that when I went to Blacksburg for the first time, I was 18. So the federal government says I was an adult. I was a boy. And that's where I learned to become a man, was right there in Blacksburg. That's where I was born and raised in Clintwood, but I grew up in Blacksburg. And what I learned in that was, at first I thought, man, these coaches are a little different now that I'm playing here than they were when they recruited me. Like it don't feel the same. But what I learned and will forever appreciate about every person that had a hand in helping me there was that the fact that tough love, it's still love. And they were raising me for moments that it's going to be hard, this is going to be difficult, and you've got to push through difficult things. You've got to be told this is not good enough.
Mm.
You need to hear that because they're right. And over time, it became, if I just keep showing up, keep working hard, and I kind of just settled in while I was there to, all right, I'm not going to be Kevin Jones. I'm not going to be Eddie Royal. I'm not going to be Ernest Wilford. What can my niche then be? And it really became, I could be the guy that could do whatever the team needs me to do, whatever that looks like. And over time, there was some selfish involved on my part where it was like, I want to find a way to be a part of this. But at the end of it and on the backside, what I realized is as a coach, when you have players that have that mindset, that's super valuable in terms of your team, not necessarily the individual accolades, but for your team. And then with coming back there, realizing like those guys did see that and they did appreciate it and they did think that there was value in it. And I became such a better person with that because like I was not good enough. I was not mature enough. I was not physically or mentally strong enough. And they knew that. And they helped me get to that point, even though it didn't look like, hey, arm around the neck all the time and like, we'll get you there. Sometimes it was some aggressive talk and language, but it was for that purpose. And I'll forever be appreciative of Coach Beamer, of Bud, of Mike Gentry, of all the coaches that I played for, all the people that were there that just they cared. They talked to you that way because they cared. So I'll forever be indebted to them for that.